Good morning. Woo, that's quite a greeting. My name is Rebecca Haggerty, and I'm your worship associate today. Each year for the past 5 years, we have celebrated Mahashivaratri, a major holiday in India. Our Unitarian Universalist faith is pluralistic, and many of us take inspiration from the rich, complex traditions of Hinduism. During this festival, believers go to temple and spend the entire night chanting, fasting, doing yoga, meditating. It's joyful, but also a time for introspection and reflection on the fears and attachments that can be roadblocks on the way to enlightenment. Our theme this month is inclusion. Inclusion is about accepting others, but also ourselves, and acknowledging that we all struggle with fatigue and sadness, loneliness, feelings of inadequacy and jealousy, greed, judginess, and on and on. And that's okay. That is part of being human. The question is, can we recognize our imperfections, hold them with kindness, and also think about how they keep us apart from the love and connection that we're seeking? I want to end with some words from the great Sufi poet Rumi. Your task is not to seek love, but to seek and find the barriers within yourself that you have built against it and embrace them. Come, let us worship together.
Namaste. May we celebrate the divine light that dances in each of our hearts. Now, welcome to this service, as Rebecca shared, honoring this great festival of the dark night of Shiva. Now, like the High Holy Days in the Jewish tradition, Christmas and Easter in the Christian tradition, and Ramadan in the Islamic tradition, we hold space for this ancient tradition and its observances in our pluralistic community. Now, I'm the Reverend Jeremiah Lal Shabazz Callanday, and I'm joined on the chancel this morning by our newest, I keep saying this a lot, but we have a lot of new worship associates, newest worship associate, Rebecca Haggerty. Also a director of multi-generational religious education, Jessica Tenhave Place. And our special guest musician this morning, Rohan Ramanan, who will be inviting us into the soundscapes of this sacred time. Now, this is one of the services of the year that is unlike others in that it will all be in Sanskrit. No, I'm just joking. But some of it will be, so that we can better enter into the practices of this tradition and the holiday we are honoring. Our entire worship team, including our critical tech ministry teams, Aubrey, who's in the back, are delighted to be joining you for this morning's service. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Santa Monica is a contemporary congregation with roots deep in the centuries-old traditions of Unitarian Universalism. We are an open and affirming congregation, celebrating LGBTIAQ+ members and friends, working for justice for BIPOC communities, towards full inclusion for those living with disabilities, as well as protecting our precious planet home and all of its inhabitants. We draw upon sacred, secular, and scientific sources in our liberal tradition and welcome spiritual beliefs from all of the world's religions and from humanistic, atheistic, and agnostic wisdom. Now, if this is your first time joining us, or if you're still new to the congregation, we bid you a special welcome. We hope that you will sign up for our weekly e-newsletter that goes out on Thursday and let you know about all of the activities in the community. We also will have a visitor table with folks from our membership team set up out in the courtyard following the service. And there's a coffee hour in Forbes Hall behind me, and we would love to have you join us for the coffee hour. Now, as we begin, we would like to acknowledge that we gather upon the sacred lands, near the life-giving waters, and beneath the beautiful sky of indigenous people. This is the traditional home of the Tangva, Gabrielino, Keys, Ventureno, Fernandino, Tatvaviam, and Chumash tribes. We remember the painful history of these lands and continue our commitments to justice and sovereignty for indigenous people. I light our flaming chalice with a traditional mantra from my practice that honors all of our religious teachers in life. And I know we've got some Sunday school teachers, and you're going to be some of our gurus that we're honoring with this, as well as the sources of wisdom themselves as understood in the Hindu tradition. I will offer it in Sanskrit and then in English. Om Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Parama Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Para Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Parameshti Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Anantaya Namaha, Om Namaha Shivaya. Salutations to the teachers to our spiritual teachers. Salutations to the teachers of our teachers. Salutations to the teachers of the lineages. Salutations to the great spiritual masters. Salutations to Ganapati, the sweet elephant-headed remover of obstacles. Salutations to the infinite spirit. Salutations to Lord Shiva. Now let us remain seated this morning, which is traditional, for our opening meditative kirtan, a call and response chant of homage, which Rohan will lead.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la enseñanza de esta iglesia. Buscar la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es la oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar el conocimiento en la libertad, servir a la humanidad en comunión. Así es como convenimos unos a otros.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Tenhave Place. Just be careful of the chalice there. And I'm the director of multi-generational religious education here at UUSM. And Emerson and any other kids who would like to help, I have a job for you today because we're going to do something a little bit different, collecting our food donations for the West Side Food Bank. So Sophia, over by you, there should be some reusable grocery bags. And so Sophia and Cynthia are going to help kids grab a bag, and then if you've brought something to donate, our grown-ups out there, raise your hand, and they're going to come collect your food donations from you. So thank you so much, helpers. We always collect food for the West Side Food Bank in support of their mission to help people dealing with food insecurity in our community. Good job. Do you see some raised hands out there? I see Norm needs somebody to help him. There we go. Thank you, helpers. It's an important part of religious education for us, not just to teach the kids lessons, but also to help them be a part of our community and to do service as a part of our prayer, as we talk about. So thank you, everyone, for bringing those forward. When those have been collected, you can bring them up to the front basket here. And then I'll meet my younger friends. Any kids with us today, you can bring a parent if that helps you feel more comfortable. You can meet me up here on the steps for our Time for All Ages, where we're going to do some more special musical activities. I'm so excited to be doing some different stuff today. That's great. So can you put it there into the basket? That's perfect. Thank you so much. Can we say thank you to our kids for bringing our donations forward? Thank you. Great. And then we can all just, good job. And we can just sit over on the steps when we're all done, okay? Thank you. Okay, am I still on here? Yay. Okay, I'm going to sit up here for today because as you see, I have my drum. So I'm going to sit here so I can do my drum. But for all of you, once everyone is seated down together, I'm going to hand out some other instruments because guess what we're going to do today? We're going to make some music and dance. So are you ready? I'm ready. So today, we're going to learn more about Mahashivaratri, the Hindu festival that Reverend Jeremiah was telling us about. And part of that, which I learned about this week, is celebrating the god Shiva and his cosmic dance or divine dance. And you'll often see those representations of Shiva where he's doing the kind of like, he's a better dancer than me, but in motion. And this is a representation of how in our universe,
everything relies on this cycle of both creation and destruction. So we can think about a compost heap, how things die and decay, but that the decomposed matter becomes fertile earth. So we see the dying and the life, that cycle of life. And so there's lots of other examples from the world religions that are represented around us around this kind of idea. But I think today we're going to get out of our heads and into our bodies. So let's leave that one there. I'm going to give you a different one. Here, if you can come down on the steps, I'll come give you a shaker. Can you stay seated there for right now? There you go. Anyone else want a shaker? Me. Thank you. Make some music together. Yeah, don't crack it too hard. There you go. All right, everybody's gonna help make some music. Okay. Okay. So
You have that's not shakers.
I just have the drum. So we got shakers and drum. Here, any other? Somebody can double fist the shaker. There you go. Okay, let's leave that there because that is heavy and a little dangerous. So if we move down onto the steps, and actually, we're going to use this whole area here as our dancing space. So can we all get down to the level that Cynthia's on? Okay. And so I'm going to tell a story about the beginning of our universe. And as you listen to the story and hear the drum, grown-ups welcome as well. We got some more dance space open over there and in the aisles. We're going to move our bodies to try to reflect what we hear in the story. Okay, so let's go. So let's imagine the beginning of the universe, and everything is contained in a small, dense space. Can you make your body small and dense? Like tiny, tiny, tiny. And then something happened. There was a big bang that gave birth to our universe. Everything started to expand. Can you expand? Getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And things were really hot. Hotter than a billion suns. If you reach out to the warmth of the sun, from all of this heat in the universe came big bolts of energy that shrank into tiny particles, the tiniest little building blocks of the world. From those particles grew atoms of hydrogen. From the hydrogen grew stars. Can we point up to the stars? Including our sun.
Yeah, but before
I knew Emerson would have greater scientific detail for us. You're right, and one of the stars, there are many stars out there, but as that hydrogen cooked some more in the heat of the universe, it became carbon, which your body is made of. Can some of us stand up and wiggle our bodies? I'll do it with you. Move all the carbon in your body. Nice. That's what your DNA is made out of. And you know what else there was? Was oxygen that we breathe. Can we all breathe in? And then there was also calcium, and that's in your bones. Shake your bones around. That's what's moving us around under our skin and our muscles from that calcium that was there at the beginning of the world. And so in all of these different clumps of atoms and particles, there were a clump of stardust floating around our sun that would become our Earth. Can you plant your feet on the Earth? That solid Earth that's underneath us.
but Earth was actually hard.
You're right. He knew what's coming. The Earth grew through lots of that heat, through volcanoes. Can you be a volcano? Emerson, what does a volcano look like?
Fire.
And steam, and rain, and lightning storms, and meteors and comets colliding with the Earth. And then the Earth slowly cooled down. And after a very long time, all the energy of creation and destruction brought something new into our ancient oceans. life. Yay! Can you shake your body and show that you're alive? Yay! Over millions and millions of years, the first life evolved into creatures like fish. Who can be a fish? Show me a fish. Yeah.
Dinosaur.
And dinosaurs. Who could be a dinosaur? And birds. Tweet, 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 tweet. And mammals, including people like us. I wonder if we can all put down our shakers and join hands in a circle up front. Because we're all human beings. We're mammals that came from the very beginning of this dance of creation and destruction, and we're here now.
I have a whole book on it. I have 3 books about that.
Yeah, Emerson has some books we can read about that if you'd like. I love the passion for science that Emerson and lots of our kids have, and that story that we learn from science and how it's reflected in Hinduism and all these other world religions. They can remind us to be grateful. As if you see the hand of the person next to you, can you look down at your hand and their hand? We can be so thankful that we exist here after billions and millions of years of the story of the universe. And because we have the special human gift of intelligence, we can do things to help protect our planet home from everything that's disrupting the natural cycles. So I know we can all work together to do that. So we're gonna dance our way out to the cottage now as we sing Go Now in Peace to keep learning more. So thank you everyone for participating in our dance.
Okay, that was super cute. Okay, so first announcement, please silence your cell phone. Next, some of the events happening today. Lunches for Bunches. Every Sunday, we pack food for our unhoused neighbors after service out on the patio shade structure. Also today, from noon to 1:30, the older RE kids will be having lunch, a discussion about UU history, and a sign-making session for the protest on March 1st. That's in Forbes in room 4. There's also the women's community gathering, and the topic this week is disability and women and our UU values, 12:30 to 2. This is also our 5th in the Faith Forward Inquirers series. Today at noon, Q&A with Reverend Jeremiah talking about his own journey in Unitarian Universalism. And that is in room 3. And this, just a reminder, next week, next Saturday, is the March for Dignity. So it's 10 a.m. in downtown LA. And people are meeting at the 17th Street Metro Station in Santa Monica to ride together. So if you're interested to sign up, or you want a carpool or need a ride, Faith in Action is coordinating that. Also next Saturday, hiking group going to Solstice Canyon at 9 a.m. And next Sunday is a First Sunday event series about living more sustainably with a workshop from 1 to 3 on electrifying your home. And as always, there's more details and lots of things happening, so you can check the website, the newsletter, and the order of service. Okay, so in just a moment, we're going to greet our neighbors, but before doing so, please remember to listen for the music. And that's the cue that it's time to return to worship. And it'll then follow that with our music for the morning. So let's take a few moments to say hello and greet those around you, both people you know and people who are new.
So we're going to engage in some yogic practices this morning. We're going to begin with Nadi Shodhana. Has anyone ever practiced this before? Alternate nostril breathing. I think we've maybe done it once or twice. So a few of you, maybe you've done it in a yoga class or elsewhere. It's a very common yoga practice that's meant to bring some relaxation and harmony to the body. Now, in the yogic worldview, it's believed that we have a central channel of energy, the Sushumna Nadi, that runs from the crown of our head to the bottom of our spines. And it's encircled by two secondary currents that are called the sun and the moon currents that kind of move like this through that, along that central channel. So down and up like this. And the energy of one channel is considered to be masculine, and the other is considered to be feminine. One has a heating effect, one has a cooling effect, and they meet as they're kind of moving along the central channel. They meet here in the center of the eyebrows in the Ajna chakra, or the third eye, which is the place of spiritual perception in yogic traditions. So it's believed that these currents of energy are attached to the movement of our air, the air in our body. So if we alternate breathing in one nostril and out the other nostril, and then in that other nostril and out the other nostril, we begin to balance the movement of those energies of the sun and the moon within our bodies. So it's a very powerful practice. It's something that I have practiced for many years. And it's a great way to begin meditation, if you have a meditative practice, to bring a sense of harmony within. So you'll begin by using your right hand or your dominant hand and your thumb and then your pointer and your middle fingers to alternately open and close your left and right nostril. So you're first going to use your thumb to close your right nostril if you're able, and then you're going to breathe in through your open left nostril. Now close your left nostril with your pointer and middle finger and remove your thumb to open your other nostril and breathe out. Now breathe in this nostril and switch. Breathe out the other nostril. Breathe in and out. And keep going. Let's do this for a minute together. Okay, wonderful. It looks like no one's managed to asphyxiate themselves. And perhaps we've balanced the sun and moon energies in our bodies and helped to open our third eye. So this is a really easy practice to utilize. There's some different methods where there's different counts on how long you hold the breath. If you meditate at the moment when you hold the breath in the center, in the Ajna chakra space. So there's some variations on it. It's a wonderful practice to do for 5 minutes. And whenever I used to have this 45-minute meditation practice, and I always started it with 5 minutes of this practice. And it goes by pretty quickly, and it does bring you into a deep state of relaxation. So our second yogic practice that we're going to learn, so we learn breathing exercises. This is very important. Part of the reasons we're talking about yogic practices is because Shiva is the great yogi. So it's believed that all of these practices are kind of passed on through the ages as a way to achieve enlightenment from Shiva. So we're actually practicing some of the things that devotees would be practicing. So I also would like to introduce a mantra practice, which is fundamental to Hindu spirituality, which is to chant sacred sounds that hold sacred meaning, kind of like prayers, but they're meant to also be meditations that take you internal, and they're more cyclical. Prayers are linear, right? There's a beginning and an end. You kind of move through a narrative often. In a lot of Indian and Dharmic practices, you're repeating the same things over and over, and that's meant to go deeper into those chants and those practices. So this is called a mantram yoga, a yoga something that brings union through the use of the mantra. So we're going to learn the great death-defying mantra today. This is a verse in the Rig Veda, which is at least 3,500 years old, making it the oldest of any religious texts in the world's great religions. It's dedicated to the three-eyed one, which is one of the ancient names of Lord Shiva. Now, I'm going to recite it in Sanskrit and then in English. Typically, it would be recited 108 times, but I'll just offer it a few times for our meditation today. And I want to welcome you to hold the sound of Om in the background as we do this. So the mantra that you'll be doing is the simple mantra of Om, which I'll talk about in the sermon. But the Om it actually begins with A, so it's like A-U-M, Aum. Does everyone want to try? So we'll just kind of keep holding an Om. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamabhritan Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritata. Om. We adore the three-eyed one who nourishes fragrant, thriving life. As the gourd is freed from the vine, may we be liberated from death and born to eternity. Om. Let us meditate now together in the silence. This is the sound of the supreme reality in the Hindu religion. It is an invocation which begins all prayers, mantras, and ceremonies which aim to connect the soul with its ultimate source. The symbol hangs in our sanctuary right over there in the back corner. And the dot at the very top, or the bindu, represents that ultimate source. The dash beneath the dot represents the illusion that keeps us from being aware of it all the time. And then those three curves represent the three states or fluctuations of human consciousness: our waking state, our dreaming state, and the deep state of oblivion. So it's said that the totality of human experience is held in that sound represented by that symbol. Now, Om is spiritually expounded upon in the Mandukya Upanishad, one of the principal sacred texts of this tradition, which dates to somewhere around the 1st century of the Common Era, but which records oral traditions which date to many, many centuries earlier. It is written in this Upanishad, Om stands for the supreme reality. It is the symbol for what was, what is, and what shall be. It also represents what lies beyond past, present, and future, end quote. Om as the symbol of supreme reality is not unique to Hinduism, but also finds expression in many of the ancient religions of India, including Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism. Anywhere you go in most of South Asia, you will hear this sacred sound being chanted in candle and incense-filled temple spaces and at shrines in private homes by monastics, priests, and lay people alike. Through the chanting and contemplation of this sacred symbol and its sacred sound, one is given the vehicle to expand consciousness and achieve enlightenment in these traditions. Now, despite the many theological and philosophical differences that exist among these dharmic religions, they find a common unity in this embrace. Even the different schools of Hinduism with different principal deities and pantheons of gods and goddesses are united in their honoring of the sacrality of Om. Now, as you may know, Sufism and Hinduism are primary inspirations for my own religious journey, and they are traditions with which I have had formal relationships for many, many years. When I was young, one of the first books that I read that got me so interested in religion and really resonated with me on a deep level was On the Hindu Mind. Many years later, when I was in seminary, I began studying and practicing within the tradition and was welcomed through a formal, what's called a Diksha ceremony or initiation ceremony into the Kali Kula, or the family of Kali, one of the ancient lineage traditions of India. In this community, the ultimate expression of the divine presence is found in the warrior mother goddess Kali. And I think we need some warrior mother goddess Kali energy right now. She is typically depicted with a frightening appearance, dancing on a battleground with her wild hair flowing in every direction, her tongue protruding, and she wears a garland of skulls and a girdle of severed arms. She originated in the pre-Vedic indigenous tribes of India, where she was the fierce mother goddess of the jungle, and was later incorporated into the Vedic traditions of Orthodox Hinduism. She is the overwhelming force of good that is called upon whenever evil is winning battles with other gods and goddesses. Although she has a fierce appearance and her stories are often set in the midst of war, each depiction is an allegory for the path to enlightenment in the tradition. Symbolic meanings abound and are deciphered through meditation, worship, and devotion. She's also the partner to Lord Shiva, the great yogi who we're learning more about today. He dwells in the Himalaya mountains with matted hair, wearing only leopard skins, teaching yoga as the means to liberation from the world. In Hindu philosophy, Shiva often represents infinite consciousness, and Kali, or Shakti, the divine feminine, represents infinite wisdom, or the movement and the vibration of consciousness. When they are united, one attains the radically non-dual supreme reality expressed through Om. Now, when I met my sheikh, Pir Dr. Ibrahim Baba, a Sufi master and the provost of our Unitarian Universalist Seminary in Berkeley, I was delighted to discover that even though he was a committed Sufi Muslim and sheikh, we both had tattoos of Kali Ma. Now, I have an image depicted of her in her sacred geometric form, or as a yantra, with a pink triangle, and he had her name written in a black triangle. I had selected the pink triangle because it was a symbol that had been reclaimed by the queer community after being used in the extermination camps of the Nazis. He likewise had selected a black triangle because it was also used by the Nazis to identify women who were antisocial, lesbians, Roma, sex workers, and disabled people. We both experienced Mother Kali as the fierce defender of those who lived on the margins of society, the downtrodden, the persecuted, and the oppressed. I was so enamored with Ibrahim Baba's multi-religiousness and expansive devotion to the divine that I began to discern the possibility of becoming a Sufi Hindu Unitarian Universalist. Now, Ibrahim Baba encouraged me, as he had always taught that religious identities could be like fine wines with many complex layers to savor. When I finally took hand, which is what we call initiation in the Sufi way, I was given the name Lal Shabazz Kalendar, which translates to something like the mystic ruby falcon of the saints. It was the name of a famous Sufi saint in present-day Pakistan who is revered by both Hindus and Muslims, as he had taught the unity of traditions and made peace among the various schools of religious thought. It makes me think of the metaphor of light pouring through the various stained glass windows of a sanctuary, and how the knowers of wisdom recognize that there is one light being refracted differently through the glass and the images on the beautiful stained glass windows. My own spiritual journey called me to teach at the intersection of these traditions, and I continue this work of resolving theological differences and celebrating diverse expressions of faith. Now we are approaching the great Hindu festival of Mahashivaratri, which will begin on Tuesday evening and will be celebrated throughout India and in homes all around the world. We celebrate this holiday for the past 5 years as one of the expressions of our embrace of pluralism and the many ways our spiritual lives can be inspired by encounters with diverse religious traditions. Last year, our honored guest teacher, Swami Bhajanananda Saraswati, who joined us with friends from the Kali Temple in Laguna Beach, one of only a handful of such temples in the United States, gave a powerful lecture. It's believed that many gurus or teachers in Hinduism can convey an experience of enlightenment just by touching one's forehead or anointing it with a sacred substance. And this is called a Shaktipat or a divine transmission. And the Dharma sermon that he gave last year felt like a Shaktipat. So I'd encourage you to listen to it again, or maybe for the first time if you want to go deeper into the celebration of this holiday this week. One of the great things I love about the festival of Mahashivaratri is that it's a holiday when God dances. Few religions depict the divine as a dancer, but here we find a major holiday celebrating not only the divine as a dancer, but a particular dance called the Tandava. This is the divine dance of the primordial energies of existence, from the explosions of galactic systems to the trillions of electrons moving about nuclei all around us, even in this very moment. Now, if we could somehow perceive all of the great movements of existence across time, this would be Shiva dancing the Tandava in the Hindu tradition. When we dance ourselves as an embodied spiritual practice, this elevated consciousness, we can feel ourselves becoming part of the larger rhythms of existence too. In India, dance, like music and ritual, is one of the ways that we enter into communion with the infinite spirit. Now, of course, Shiva does not dance alone, and his partner has her own dance. The 13th century yogi, poet, and saint Janeshwar wrote this beautiful poem, which is translated by Andrew Harvey. and I think gets to the essence of some of what we're talking about today. I honor the God and the goddess, the eternal parents of the universe. The lover, out of boundless love, takes the form of the beloved. What beauty! Out of supreme love, they swallow each other up, but separate again for the joy of being two. They sit together in the same place, both wearing a garment of light. From the beginning, they have been together, reveling in their own supreme love. Without God, there is no goddess, and without the goddess, there is no God. Embracing each other, they merge into the one as darkness merges with the light at the breaking of dawn. And this is how I honor Shiva and Shakti, by removing all separation and becoming one with them. So the dance of the universe being performed by Shiva and the goddess Shakti is an expression of this ecstasy of divine love. Now, although the gendering of this imagery is obviously heteronormative, it also expresses queer dimensions that are unique, because when they unite in this tradition, they take on a hybrid form that is both feminine and masculine, qualities that are united in a way that subverts gender norms and other limiting dualities that cause us to believe everything is either this or that. In the unitive state, those dualities dissolve in love. It is love that caused the one to desire to be two and then to become one again in the eternal dance of Mahashivaratri. The sounding of the Om reverberating as the infinite expanse and then returning to stillness and silence. The eternal dance is said to be one of creation, preservation, illusions, destruction of those illusions, and liberation. For the yogis and yoginis and yogins of this spiritual path, the dance is the love affair with their divine partner, who is also their own highest self, forever separating and merging and separating again across lifetimes and existences in a divine choreography and play. On Mahashivaratri, I approach Shiva as Kali, and you are invited to approach the divine or temporal beloved, or even your own higher self as your eternal partner in life's dance of love. Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Kali Mata, Om Shanti, 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 Om. Thank you.
Your offering today goes to support the work of multiple groups in the church. And in addition, half of our Sunday offering this month goes to the CLU, the Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice. This important LA group brings together clergy and non-clergy to educate, organize, and mobilize faith communities to advocate for economic justice. They collaborate with community organizations and labor unions and with lawmakers to improve the lives of working families. CLU is also working to provide safe shelter to those seeking asylum in our country, and this work is especially challenging now with the new administration. We invite you to contribute in whatever way feels right for you. There are lots of ways to give. You can see them. You can point your phone at the thingy there, or make a text contribution, or you can use cash or checks, and then you can put them in the offertory bags that will be passed around. And thank you for everything that you do and everything that you give, both money and also time and energy and your commitment to the church and to the outside world. The ushers are now invited to come forward, and the offering will be gratefully received.
नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय ॐ नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान् ॐ नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान्
Thank you, Rohan, for this lovely immersion into the sacred soundscapes this morning. Thank you. And thank you to Rebecca. She didn't know she was going to have to dance and speak in Sanskrit and sing in Hindi and all of this on her first Sunday, so I applaud her bravery. I offer this mantra as a closing blessing. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotir gamaya mrityor ma amritam gamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. From untruth may we be led to the truth. From the shadows may we find the light. From all that is death may we discover the eternal. May peace pervade every world. May you go forth into this day and be blessed, and may you be a blessing. Amen.